What's going on, guys? So today I want to talk about, does the MOS that you pick whenever you're deciding to join the Army actually affect how fast you can get promoted through the ranks whenever you're actually in the military? So to go ahead and just jump off with the answer to that question, does the MOS that you pick affect how fast you get promoted in the Army? And the answer is yes to that. There's going to be a few different ways I'm going to talk about that in this video, but you do need to understand that whatever MOS you pick, it could be easier to get promoted higher through the ranks, or it could be more difficult to get promoted through the ranks. If that's something that you want to do, if you want to stay in the military, past your first contract, this might be something that you want to consider. However, I do not recommend that you guys just solely pick an MOS off of whatever, MOS will promote you the fastest. That's probably not the way about going about this, but it is just something to look at. Again, if you're wanting to stay in the military for a while, you might want to take a look at these charts and stuff that I'm going to link in the description below. But if you guys did not know, the way the promotion system works is just a quick little rundown for the promotion system in the Army. E1 to E4 is basically an automatic promotion, and what this is, it's a decentralized promotion system, which means that the big army, so like the big army, doesn't really have much of a say in how and when you get promoted. It's just got that basic time and grade, time and service that you're going to go off of, and your company level is going to decide whether or not they want to promote you from E1 to E2 to E3 to E4, and if they want to do that faster than the normal, time and service, time and grade that is suggested. So your MOS is really not going to matter that much if you're just wanting to make it up to E4 and stop as a specialist. Now, something else that I want to mention real quick is the whole Army has basically a set number of slots available for each MOS in the military, and I'll probably throw up a picture here or somewhere. But there's going to be only so many percentage of soldiers that are going to be in E1. There's going to be so many percentage of soldiers at E2, E3, E4. And then it really starts to come into play whenever you start getting to E5 and above, which is the non-commissioned officer ranks. There's only going to be so many positions available for those ranks. As you can see, in the higher rank structure you go, there's going to be less and less of those soldiers that can hold that rank in the military, which means that the military needs to be a little bit more picky whenever they're deciding who's going to be, in E7 versus who's going to be obviously in E4. So now we're going to start getting into why it actually is more difficult for a certain MOS to get promoted than another MOS. And that really comes down to the promotion points. And you don't have to worry about promotion points until you make it to the NCO rank, which is an E5 or higher. E5 and E6, I talked about this just a few seconds ago. Decentralized promotions is E1 to E4. Semi-centralized promotions is E5 and E6, which means that your company has some say in who gets promoted, as well as the big army has some say in who gets promoted. And then E7, E8, and E9, that's all centralized promotions, so it's really just going to be the big army. So it's not going to be necessarily your unit that decides on you getting promoted. It's going to be a big army decision. So as of right now, in order to get promoted to sergeant and staff sergeant, the maximum number of promotion points you can get is 800 points. Now, the amount of promotion points that you actually need to get promoted is going to be less than 800 points. It's just that the maximum number of points that you can get is 800. Now, how are you going to get these points? Well, a lot of it is your military training. Some of it's going to be your schools and stuff that you go to. So if you go to airborne school, if you go to air assault school, stuff like that, those are going to give you promotion points. That's one of the reasons that you might want to do that, because you can get promoted faster. The more schools that you go to, the more military training you have, the faster you can get promoted. You also get points for civilian education, stuff like that. I'll probably have a chart right here on something, just a little breakdown on the maximum amount of points you can get per category for those 800 promotion points. Now, if the maximum number of promotion points that you can get is 800 promotion points, then you would imagine that the 800, to obtain that 800 is going to be difficult. It's going to take you the longest amount of time to hit that 800 point threshold, right? Now, if you'll notice, I'm going to display this chart at some point or another, but if you'll notice that there are some MOSs that have higher point thresholds than others, and some of them have super low point thresholds, and there's going to be some MOSs that have point thresholds to obtain that you need to be 798 points, which is like just below the maximum. So the higher the point threshold that you have to obtain in order to be considered for promotion, because there's going to be a cutoff area. If you don't make the promotion point cutoff, then you're not going to be considered to get promoted to that next rank. Okay, so if you just simply don't make the cut, so if the promotions points that you need is 500 and you've got 450, then you're not going to be considered for promotion. So one of the links that I'm going to link in the description is the link to this page where I'm showing you guys, how many promotion points you need per MOS. It's got all the different MOSs on there, and you guys can go and look and just take a quick glance at whether or not the MOS that you want is going to be a more difficult one to get promoted to E5 and E6 or not. So as you can see, the promotion point cutoff is a lot lower for an infantry soldier than it is for, let's say, for example, a 25 Bravo soldier, which is, I used to be a 25 Bravo soldier. The cutoff for that is like 500 something points, whereas an infantry soldier, it's like 40 points or something like that. Reason being is if you're in the infantry, you're gonna be getting a lot of combat experience, or probably more combat experience. You're also gonna have a more likely chance to go to like airborne school or air assault school or any of these schools that you want to if you are infantry. And people just move around a lot in the infantry MOS, right? So a lot of people join into the military as an infantry soldier. They do their first contract, they do their second contract, and then they either get out or they switch to another MOS, because infantry soldiers, not saying anything bad about it or whatever, but it's not one of those MOSs where people generally stay in as an infantry soldier for their entire career. It's an MOS where a lot of people will join as infantry with the idea or thought that they might want to switch to another MOS at a later date. So they want to join the military, get their infantry experience, get that combat experience, and they want to stay in the military, but they don't want to do that for the entire time of their career, because infantry is going to be a more difficult MOS on your body, right? So it's going to be more difficult on your body in general. So a lot of people, they might do infantry, get deployed a couple times, do their first, second contract, and then they'll either get out or they'll switch to another MOS because maybe they're tired of the field or something. So there's a lot of moving around in the ranks as far as the higher up ranks goes, because if you're an E6, E7, a lot of times those soldiers might be switching to another MOS, or they might be getting out if you're an infantry soldier, which means if the position above you is vacated, if it's free, then that means the big army is going to say, hey, we need another E8 person right there. So if we need another E8 soldier, that means an E7 is going to get promoted, which means an E6 is going to get promoted to fill the E7 slot, and E5 is going to get promoted to fill the E6 slot, and that's kind of how it works. And that's also one of the reasons why there is a certain time limit on how long you can actually be in a certain rank, because you can't just make it up to a certain rank in the military and just stay there for forever. Although it is a long time, so a lot of people will be an E5 for a really long time, or even an E4, specialist mafia over here. But there is going to be a certain amount of time that you can actually be in a specific rank. If you make it up to one of the super high ranks, sergeant major or something like that, you're going to have a certain amount of time that you can be in that rank before basically the army kicks you out, right? So before you go from sergeant major to a command sergeant major, they're going to be like, hey, you got so many years to do this. And it's kind of a similar thing on the officer side, right? You can't be a lieutenant colonel for forever. You're going to have to either get promoted or get kicked out. So if you're an E7 soldier, you can't be an E7 soldier for the next 20 years. You're going to have to either get promoted to E8 or get out to make room for the next soldier coming up. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys made it to the end, that is awesome. I do have another link down in the description for you guys if you guys are curious about more of the specifics on how the promotions work in the Army. I'll leave a link to AR 600-8-19. And it's not that I memorized that, it's just that I looked at it just a little while ago. But that's basically how the promotions work in the Army. So if you want to look at that, maybe take a look at a specific rank that you want to get to, and maybe, hey, what does it take to get to an E7 or an E8? You can definitely look at that if you want to. But as for me, that is it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, hit that like button. That would be awesome. If you want to stick around for some more of my videos, hit that subscribe button. That would be even better. If you guys are not following me on social media, links are right here. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.